The Radio Vet with Dr. Kelly on the air again, or on your podcast player, however you're choosing to listen to us. We're just glad you're listening, and we're glad to have Dr. Kelly back.
Thank you.
All right, what are we talking about today?
Let's talk about our poor, bored indoor cats.
You know, we have Netflix. What's the problem?
I know. Yeah, you're right.
You know, just I suppose I better get Amazon too. Netflix might not be enough for our girl.
Generally, veterinarians strongly recommend a strictly 100% indoor lifestyle for pet cats. In other words, cats who aren't required to have a job controlling vermin on the farm, in the barn, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Fill out W-2s, all that kind of thing. Yeah.
But this obviously really keeps their world small. And
they're shut-ins, basically.
Yeah, they're shut-ins, forced to be shut-ins, and they aren't on social media. So.
No. I was going to get my girl a Facebook account, but we'll see.
And it also prevents some of their normal behaviors, and that can cause stress. Cats who are 100% indoor are more likely to be stressed and anxious.
Really?
Yes, really.
See, if I was 100% indoor, and didn't have to go to a job, I think I'd be quite the opposite myself.
I don't know, if you never got to lay in the sun.
I have a lot of books at home.
Or, do normal outdoor things that people are supposed to do, like take a walk in the sun.
There are so many.
It might affect you in a surprising way.
You might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right. Okay, I will concede.
So cats who are outdoors, or who are indoor-outdoor, we call them, who are allowed to roam, go outdoors, spend some time out there, and then come back in. Those cats are, of course, at risk for some deadly viruses that are carried by lots of stray cats.
Sure.
They are at risk for being hit by a car.
Indeed.
They are at risk for trauma.
Yeah.
Getting into a fight with another cat, with a raccoon, with a coyote, with a dog, depending on where you live.
So you almost have to weigh the lesser of two evils type of thing, don't you?
You're right. And so, being responsible veterinarians, we recommend indoor lifestyle.
And we appreciate that, actually.
At least it's our job to tell you all the horrible things that we see and can happen if you do let your cat outside, and then make sure it's an informed decision.
What is the average of indoor to outdoor cats that you see?
Good question. It has changed greatly with time, because once upon a time, all cats were outdoor.
Yeah, let the cat out was like almost it's like a phrase,
and
it's vernacular.
Still to this day, my oldest clients, my retirement age and beyond clients, when I say, is your cat an indoor cat? To them, that means a cat that's allowed indoors sometimes.
Right.
So
different era.
Yeah, and that's not what I mean when I say that, but I have to be aware of that.
I have a coworker who, her cat George, who needs to be dewormed 4 times a year.
Yes, because he goes outside.
And he is an executioner, by the way. He is a panther. Holy cow. He'll just I brought you a rabbit head. Yay.
Yeah, hooray. Thank you, George.
Yeah. So, but she she knows that we have a Siamese cat, and she is all indoor. And she thinks that's just so cruel. She's like, the cruelty of that. And
some cats have zero interest in going outside.
Ours is one of them.
Yeah, you hold the door open and they run the other way. Yep. And that's great.
That's what
because you're not battling, the cat that wants to get out constantly.
Right.
But what can we do to help our cats that are forced to be 100% indoors, and the ones who want to anyway, just to keep life interesting and exciting?
Sure.
So we can try and feed them in a way that's more natural. So rather than giving them everything they need in a bowl and saying, here you go, we can make them hunt for their food. And so a cat who is either not a pet or who goes outside, they spend a significant portion of their day hunting.
How do I make ProPlan animated? I don't know, that wet, sticky stuff. I don't want to throw it around the house. Look,
and it's not the same, but there are various things you can do. You can take the cheapest way is just to divide the morning meal dry food up into, say, 4 or 5 piles and hide them in different places around the house while your cat is not looking.
Right.
and make them say, okay, you're hungry, go find it. I'm leaving for work. Bye.
This is kind of a lifestyle choice for us too. You know,
so obviously it's not the same. The food isn't going to run away, squeak,
right.
make it do anything interesting.
Beg for mercy.
But
you know?
what it does is it mimics a little bit of hunting behavior, and it occupies some time. That's really what it does.
They got 24 hours to kill, don't they? Yeah.
Putting their food in a bowl and leaving it in the same place all the time doesn't occupy any of their time.
Boring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There are besides hiding it on your own, there are treat balls and other food puzzles that are out there available for purchase that cats can learn how to get one piece at a time to fall out.
Yeah, like a kitty Kong.
Yeah, and it takes them a while to, eat, which is normal because a wild cat or a cat who spends most of its time outside, they don't eat 2 fairly big meals a day. They eat 10 to 12 tiny meals per day.
Sure.
That's their natural form of feeding their grazers. And so eating, a quarter cup of dry food within 5 minutes, really not how they're meant to be.
Sure.
So there is one I thought really kind of advanced system that takes this to the extreme where there's 6 stuffed animal mice with hollow bellies that you put their food into and then hide in different places again around the house for them to discover, open up, and eat from.
Eviscerate. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Doing what they do naturally.
Yeah. Let's see. Other things you can do. Increase vertical space. If you have multiple cats, this is actually really important because indoor cats do have territories. You may not be able necessarily to tell whose is where.
Yeah.
Because they may overlap or they may, allow each other on them because, of course, they'll, lay together, groom each other if they get along well. But when you have multiple cats, it is especially important to have a lot of vertical space for cats because it really increases the territory that's available and decreases negative interactions or, bad relationships between cats. Yeah. But even a single cat will benefit from having more vertical territory.
Yeah.
You may have noticed that when a cat gets really scared, they go up.
Up, right. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. In the vet clinic, we relearn this the hard way. A lot of times when we're carrying a cat in our arms back to the treatment area and they get suddenly scared and then they're on your head.
Right, yes. And you have geysers of blood pouring off you.
Exactly. If their rear claws have lacerated your lip on the way up, it's not pretty.
Been down that road. Holy cow, man.
So how can you increase vertical space? Well, there's obvious things like cat trees,
right?
Which can be fairly pricey.
Not if you find them on the side of the road like we have.
Oh, yeah. The free ones are good. They may need a little touching up, maybe a little carpet replacement, new Cecil rope, who knows.
We're in Cedarburg. We get the best best ones on the side of the road.
I've found good deals on Overstock personally.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Just in my own home. There are simple cat shelves that you can make kind of staggered or diagonally going up a wall where they can, bump, 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 get to a high perch very easily. They love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's nice things that people are making, which you can buy on Etsy.
Yeah.
Same thing, making them out of all different kinds of
stuff. We just purchased a kitty hammock with suction cups that attaches to our window.
Yes.
And I thought, this is
window perches are lovely because they can easily be moved.
Yes.
And changing things helps too, because if you think, okay, we've got all this great vertical territory, 5 years later, it's all the exact same great vertical territory. They could be really excited by changing things. So I have a cat tree.
There you go.
It's by one of my back windows. One day, just to help with space, I literally turned it 90 degrees and it was like a whole new world for the cats.
Happy day. my outlook is totally different now on life.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
That's great.
So along with those window perches, you can also have some outdoor entertainment that's visible from them.
Aha.
Yeah. So you can put bird feeders.
Oh, perfect.
Outside the right windows.
Absolutely.
And they will get to see squirrels.
Yes.
And birds.
And
whoever else shows up.
Without a doubt. Absolutely.
Yes. And when it's getting cold, I see rabbits under my bird feeders and the cats get all excited about that. So.
I know why they're excited.
Yeah.
They want to murder them.
Well, any little thing hopping across the ground is very exciting to a predator.
It's true. That's
now,
true.
Indoor cats and even declawed cats still engage in scratching behavior.
Sure.
Yeah. And so having available space for them to scratch that's appropriate if they have claws. And, if they don't have claws, oh, well, they'll pick their own space. It won't matter.
Yeah.
But some cats really need vertical surfaces to scratch, and others prefer horizontal.
Yep.
Many will use both.
Yeah, mine likes both.
Yeah, I think mine do too. And they often scratch shortly after getting up from their favorite resting place. So having it near a favorite bed, where what the cats see as a bed anyway, as well as making sure it's visible. Scratching posts that are put away somewhere where the company won't, people coming over won't see them, probably aren't going to be popular for the cats because nobody sees them.
Right.
One of the reasons that cats scratch is to leave a visible mark for territorial display, not just all about, it's not just all about their claws.
Right.
Yeah.
Like scratching an itch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you, for example, go to a farm that has barn cats and you walk into the barn, it's often the support post that is closest to the door that's all scratched up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they want you to see it. Yeah.
Just so you know.
Just so you know, we live here and this is taken.
You're a guest.
Yes.
I think with cats, though, we're always guests. It doesn't matter. They own everything.
Well,
seems to be their
it's more
outlook.
like we're staff. That's what people like to say.
It's even worse.
Right?
We've been demoted from guests to staff.
Dogs have owners, cats have staff.
Oh, man.
It's a saying.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's very true. Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. Amazing. Yeah, they're amazing animals. They're truly, we're so happy. One thing that's helped our kitty cat, I think, stave off boredom and probably will for the rest of her life is having her two dogs, because they are her two dogs, obviously.
Yes.
And we just added that Maltipoo this year, and she loves to bark at and chase Shusha, our Siamese. But she's not chasing and she's not running out of fear. I could tell. She's doing it because she likes to be baited, and she's enjoying every minute of it.
Oh, and she probably teases the dog into doing it sometimes.
1,000%.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because she can go high, like you said, all that vertical. So,
yes.
And that's immediately what she does. She just, you can get me. Oh, I'm in such terrible
But now I'm
trouble.
up here.
Now I'm up here and you're not.
Bop you on the head.
Exactamundo. That is exactly how she functions. So she's loving that. I mean, she really, I think day one she saw her as a nuisance, but just by day two, she's like, oh, you're just a big toy.
Well, it's a good thing she didn't see her as, a little wiggling thing going across the floor.
Right, as prey, absolutely. She certainly could. That's a tiny dog, but
yes.
It's fun. And she seems to love it when she barks at her. She just will yap at her because she can't get to where she's going, so she's expressing her annoyance, I think. Right, and she should just drinks that up. I drink your tears of
frustration.
Absolutely. She's very clever, that one. Very, very.
The cat's battery recharging when that happens.
That's exactly right. Very clever. We got to take a break, and we'll come back and talk about bored cats. If you're a bored cat, I hope you're tuning in. You can take some notes. Podcast listening cats. You've made an appointment with the radio vet, and we're glad you did. You're on CPL Radio, and we're talking today about cats that might not be terribly engaged with their life.
Cats that sleep too much,
yes,
don't do anything.
Absolutely. Which they like too, by the way. They do like that meditative time, and but they got to mix that up a little bit. And Dr. Kelly's here to help. So, what else can we do for our bored kitty cat friends?
Just like with young kids, having different groups of toys and rotating them into in and out of availability can really help. If you have, say, a 2-year-old who has a favorite toy or a couple of favorite toys, but then one maybe starts getting played with less, and that one disappears for a month or two and then reappears. Oh, it's great again. It's so much more interesting that it was getting to be the last time they saw it. So that's true with cats and, dogs too. One other issue for indoor cats that can help make them very happy is to make sure they have the perfect bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Outdoor cats get to choose their own bathroom.
Ah, yes.
And they can search for their perfect bathroom if they want to.
Very true.
Indoor cats, well,
Here's
if you don't give them a really good bathroom, they'll choose a different one,
Here's
which you
your
won't like.
2x2 box. Have fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so a really big cat can need a really big box.
Sure. Or more than one, perhaps. I mean,
yeah. So the perfect, according to the behaviorists who, really study animal behavior and maybe even focus more on cats, the perfect number of litter boxes to have is the same number as you have cats plus one.
Sure.
So a 3-cat home should have 4 boxes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they should not all be close together.
Right.
They should not all be on the same level of the home if there's a multi-level home.
Be able to travel a little bit. So
Yeah. Part of the reason for that is that elderly cats should never have to go very far to find one.
Yeah.
They don't move as fast, and maybe they don't go down the stairs anymore.
Sure.
But even more importantly, when you have a multi-cat household, there does tend to be a most assertive or quote unquote dominant cat. They can choose to guard the limited resources.
Oh, sure.
Including where you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So if all the boxes are lined up next to each other in the basement, or they're just all on the same level and it's the basement, the dominant cat can guard the stairs.
Oh, boy.
Just with their body language, and the other cats can't get to them all the time when they need to.
Oh, sure.
So having them dispersed around the home, makes it impossible for the dominant cat to say, well, this is all mine. Go find your own.
Dialing back to the refreshing of toys, we should recommend the fact that there's these great services now that you can subscribe to, and every 2 months or every month,
you
get a new toy in the mail. And
yes.
so, I mean, we did that for our dogs for a while, and we do not now, but we should get back on that again because they love that. There's, when it was mail day and they had a box, and you kind of get them all worked up and this box is for you,
this
and
is
we're
all
opening
yours.
it up, and then you toss a toy. It was like Christmas every day, once a month for these guys. So
Exactly.
same with cats. Freshen up the toy stock.
Freshen up the toys, exactly. So how do you make the perfect bathroom for your cat? So
there we go.
You want to place a location that is not really high traffic, noisy, busy. So a lot of people, again, have a litter box downstairs in the basement, and usually that's also where the washer and dryer are. Having a litter box too close to a washing machine that suddenly drops into the spin cycle while they're using the box can be a real deterrent for more timid cats.
Sure.
Yeah, so you want it to be somewhere that's relatively quiet and undisturbed.
Yeah.
Oppositely, for some people's thinking from that, cats tend not to like covered boxes.
Oh, we have 2 of them.
We don't want to be seen while we're going to the bathroom.
We try very
Cats
hard
don't necessarily want to be seen, but they want to be able to see. Going to the bathroom for a cat is a vulnerable activity. They're in a vulnerable situation. They've put themselves in a vulnerable position.
As are we all.
And they want to be able to see who's sneaking up on them.
Oh, very good. I see.
So it's an instinct. Even if they're the only cat in the household, they don't want to feel like I can't see who's coming up behind me while they're going to the bathroom. So a lot of cats will not use a hooded box. So we try to tell people, think of a hooded box versus an open box as the same thing as the difference between a porta potty, the plastic chamber, and a bathroom. Okay?
Never fun.
The porta potty is claustrophobic.
It's pretty...
It's hot if it's in the sun.
I haven't used one since 2001, I think.
I think they've gotten a lot better.
They have improved. They have indeed. That's good to know as my operative out in the field reporting back to me.
But if you think of a hooded box as being like one of those porta potties versus the bathroom in your home.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what it's like.
I'm going to go home and remove that hood tonight. She seems to be fine with it.
There are many who are fine with it. And if she's the only cat, maybe that does make a big difference for her.
Maybe.
Or that's just what she's always known from as long as she can remember.
True.
That's fine too.
Okay.
If your cat uses it, your cat uses it.
Right.
You don't have to change what's working.
Yeah. We have a weird one at home too that's like this strange oval shape, and she actually has to jump into it, so with her head sticking.
That's not so great.
I didn't think so either, but my wife was like, "Oh, she'll." And to her credit, she uses it. She does.
What is great about it is that cats who are real litter flingers fling less litter out
Indeed.
when there are high sides on all sides.
Sure.
I recommend high-sided boxes that are only high on, 2 or 3 sides.
Okay, yeah.
Where they can step in and out of a low side, because when those cats get older, they're not going to want to jump over that wall to get into the bathroom. Plus, cats are such neat, clean, fastidious creatures naturally
they are indeed.
that if they ever jump over and into that box and land on something
prior
that upsets them, they might never use that box again.
Wow, that's not her only box, but and she uses it very seldom because she doesn't go downstairs that much. We keep the door closed most of the time, but she does use it on occasion. It just mixes it up. It mixes it up for her, I figure. One of
my teachers in veterinary school, one of my professors said, cats should never have to leap into the unknown to go to the bathroom.
I can see that. That makes there's wisdom there.
Yeah. And then how else do you make them happy? You scoop it once a day, every day.
Absolutely.
Once a day. Scooping it once a week is a much bigger job and takes a lot longer, and it's gross. Scooping it once a day,
no big deal.
Very brief.
Yeah.
You're not doing any more work. You're just dividing it up better, and you're done in no time. It's not nearly as gross as scooping it once a week.
Unfortunately, I have my one of my daughters is on that job, and she is like any daughter, forgetful. So she's actually going out of town today. So when I get home, I figure I know what I'm going to do, and
and you may have noticed, many people have noticed that when they either clean the box, dump it all out, wash it, fill it with new litter. Oh my gosh, the cat's happy.
It's the most wonderful thing.
That really makes their day. The longer your cat spends scratching in the box and digging the perfect hole, the happier they are about how that box is.
Nice.
If they jump in the box, dig for 2 seconds, go and get the heck out of there, they don't really like the box.
They're not thrilled.
They're not thrilled. Yeah.
You've inspired me. I'm going to go redouble our efforts.
The last details: unscented, clumping litter, approximately 1.5 to 2 inches deep. They've discovered is ideal.
Okay, very good.
And many of them don't like the liners, those plastic bag litter box liners.
They
don't like that.
Yeah, we used to use those. Yeah.
And again, if it's working for you, it's working for you.
Yeah.
Cats!
You're so complex.
So some of my favorite toys that I've come across. There's the old standby, the plastic milk jug rings, which are so popular in many homes.
Wow! Yeah, they will make their own toys. That is true. Absolutely.
Yeah, empty cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
Paper bags.
Oh well, that's just hours of fun.
A pizza box that you tape closed. Cut holes in and either put treats in or little, balls for them to bat around. Cat grass you can grow indoors.
Oh, nice.
And then there are actual perpetual motion toys that move a thing for you and the cat can interact with. There's something called a firefly mat where it's kind of a crinkly mat, but there's little tiny lights inside, and one light will blink and they'll jump on it, and then somewhere else another light will blink and they'll jump on it.
Well, let's not forget about the laser pointer. If you're talking about lights,
exactly.
Although that's more entertainment for us, perhaps, than them, but nonetheless,
maybe,
they're having a good time.
One other laser toy that you don't have to hold in your own hand is called Bada Beam.
Hey, what's this one all about?
My cat, that's a favorite at my house, where it's a little pyramid-shaped thing, and you open the top, and there's a mirror and a laser, and you point it at the wall, and it moves randomly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like your wall could...
And you could point it at the floor or the wall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. And there's something I haven't tried, but I always thought looked great. It's called Fling-a-ma-string. It hangs from the door, and it does what it says. It flings a string for your cat.
Truth in advertising is wonderful.
I've read, though, some cats love it, and it lasts, and other cats destroy it immediately. So, there's some risk there.
Now this is, of course, broadcast on the Family Hour, but you haven't brought up yet what we like to call around our house cat marijuana.
Oh, yeah. Catnip.
That's the one.
Yeah. So cats seem to develop receptors for catnip if they're going to after 10 months of age. So young kittens really won't have any reaction to it other than wow, what's this stuff? Yuck. And not all cats get the receptors. So some cats never have any effect.
Ours did.
Yeah, most cats seem to.
Oof.
Yeah, most cats seem to. So some people will keep the cat toys in a basket or a container that has loose catnip in it, and they'll shake it up and kind of, scent the toys.
Coat it.
And there are toys that have catnip inside.
Absolutely.
And there's catnip bubbles that you can blow for your cat, which I don't know if those really work because my cats never thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
didn't find that interesting.
didn't seem to work.
Well, I keep the catnip in my nightstand drawer, and no matter where she is in the house, if she hears my nightstand drawer open, she's there. She just appears. It's sort of like Star Trek. She's beamed in. And the other day, someone foolishly, possibly me, left the drawer open a little bit, and so she cranked the rest open. When we came home, she was covered head to toe in catnip, and she was so happy.
She was great day.
She's a little nuts, but it does. It makes her really loving. I mean, she just really digs her humans when she's coated in catnip. It was 420 day for her, let me tell you.
And finally, there are some ways to safely have your cat go outside.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm too much of a nervous. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
And I will say, people might be thinking, "Oh yeah, I want to take my cat outside, so I'll get a harness." And some cats will be okay with that, but it's a fairly small percentage.
Yeah.
As many people know, once you put anything that feels like clothing on a cat, they go stiff and fall over and refuse to move. And there is actually a professional term for that because it is so consistent.
Passive aggression?
It's called pseudoparalysis.
Same thing.
If you put a shirt on a cat, they develop pseudoparalysis.
I'm using that today at work. If they ask me to do something I don't want to do.
So consistent.
That's great.
But at any rate, yes, putting them on a harness can be dangerous, even if you're attached to a leash attached to the harness.
There's someone in my neighborhood who has taken their cat for a walk on a leash, and it's funny. And when we come by, I just say, "How's that working for you?" And then they'll always say, "It's okay."
The cat is being dragged
keep the faith, sister.
It's often not great. You're right.
Neither were having a great day. Let's put it that way. I don't think so. Yeah.
So there is something called the perfect fence, which can be a fence in and of itself, or it can be an attachment onto a wooden fence that's solid, or some other kind of solid fence that makes it impossible for the cat to climb out, because not only is it high enough, but it kind of resists, curves in.
Sure.
So that the cat has to basically go upside down in order to climb out and over. So
Trump is trying this at the border.
Maybe. There's a company called Habitat Haven that makes catios, which are outdoor enclosures for cats, and there are so many different sizes and types. And there's one that's a very simple box that just attaches to a window that you can open all the way.
Okay.
So those are more, probably 3-season in this area.
Right. Absolutely.
But that's a way, nonetheless, that cats who really do want to go outside and, don't live somewhere where that's safe, can still go outside.
Yeah.
But obviously, every cat's going to react differently. So, some
absolutely.
may, find a way to slash through it. I don't know. Hopefully, it's cat-proof.
They are good. They're very clever. Interesting. Yes. Well, that's great. That's a lot of information. I mean, it actually has already made me rethink a few things for my kitty at home. We don't want them bored.
Yeah. We don't want them bored.
I mean, what kind of life is that, I guess?
Yeah,
if you're
exactly.
just kind of like, when you ask your cat, how's life going? They'll say, taking forever.
Well, and that really is why there are strong feelings on both sides.
Yeah.
People who are like, cats should never go outside.
Right.
How can you do that? It's so dangerous. They're going to, have a shorter life. And other people who see the joy that their cats get from going outside and say the same thing. How can you not do that? They enjoy it so much; it's worth the risk.
It's worth the. I suppose there you go. It's worth the risk.
Yeah, that's And my take as a veterinarian is, if you are making a fully informed decision, it's your cat.
Yes. Ultimately, in the end of the day, although don't tell your cat that.
Right, your cat will never make a fully informed decision.
Nor should they. It's asking way too much of our feline friends. So, well, a wonderful show as always. Thank you so much for all the good information. And we'll see you next week on the radio. Actually, we won't. Thanksgiving. We'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, rerun next week, folks.